Is Lamar Jackson's 23rd birthday, just a baby. Happy birthday to him. A few days ahead of the Ravens playoff matchup with the Titans. But over in the 40-40 club, Drew Brees and Tom Brady will both be watching the rest of the postseason from home. Let's discuss. Both quarterbacks enter this offseason as free agents. Brady is chasing Brees in both passing TDs and passing yards. Brady with the significant advantage in postseason accolades. Gentlemen, let's get into it. Look who's here. Bart Scott with us now. Good to have you.
I don't think your take was corny, man.
Well, I defer to Dan on taste, on opinions and corniness. He's much more familiar than I.
All right. Max, I'll start with you.
Yep.
Who would you want leading your team next season, Brady or Brees?
Brees, easy. Look, I'll leave it to these guys to talk about what Brady does great. We all know. But at this age, with the lack of mobility at the position for these guys at this age, who are never the most mobile to begin with, as particularly Brady, you got to be accurate. You know, you got to throw the ball accurate. Like Tom Brady, his CPU, his ability to read defense is second to none. He's like Peyton Manning in Peyton's prime. His leadership ability, his toughness, all those things, I get it. But I have seen him, not only is that stuff starting to slow down, he was like the worst against the blitz, the worst against pressure, et cetera, et cetera. He was missing guys this year every way you could miss a guy, and multiple times in a game. The thing about Drew Brees, even though his processing is slowed down too, Drew Brees is the most accurate person who's ever thrown any object at another object. Like, his accuracy is still ridiculous. And so when faced with two great players, Brady was greater, but Brees is an all-time great, who are both slowing down in many of the areas you need them and are also not mobile and are older, give me the dude who's accurate. Brees is still more accurate than everyone, and Brady is much, much less.
I'm not disputing anything that you just said, and again, I would defer to the football experts here, but I want to tell you that I would go the route of Brady, and we all know how I feel about my man Drew Brees. I think he's spectacular. But here's the thing. I expect he completed 74% of his passes this year, Drew Brees. I expect it next year. Just four interceptions this season. I expect it next year. Drew Brees is like this, steady. I hold Sean Payton accountable for the New Orleans Saints because of all the things surrounding Drew Brees and all the years he put everything on Drew Brees' shoulder. Do your damn job, okay? Collectively speaking, as an overseer. I have no question what I'm going to get from Drew Brees. This is the worst year of Tom Brady's career.
Yeah.
You ever see a champion with an attitude? That's the direction I'm going in. I'm looking at a guy that Rob Gronkowski retired. Josh Gordon ultimately gets let go, gets picked up by Seattle, and then he's gone for obvious yet sad reasons. I said this, I'm going to say this for the purposes of you being here because you haven't been face-to-face with me when I've said this, even though I've told them this on numerous occasions. Antonio Brown, I mean, you can make the argument Pittsburgh Steelers wasn't in the playoffs. Oakland Raiders weren't in the playoffs. New England goes out in the first round. Antonio Brown would have made a difference for all of them, which is a sad state of affairs for him that he would sit up there and mess dudes up like that. But here's the reality. Tom Brady, happily married man with kids, told a man that's been accused of sexual misconduct, you can come in my house. You have any idea how desperate you got to be? You have any idea how desperate you have to be to sit up there and not promote the dude being on your team, but to offer him room and board in your mansion with kids around because that's how bad I need this brother right there.
Why he's going at his in your basement.
There you go. So you got all of that going on, right? And Tom Brady still wanted him, okay? Because Tom Brady knew he had nothing. And the reality of the situation is that when you are bereft of talent, the way that the New England Patriots were on the offensive side of the ball, you got Julian Edelman who can't sit up there. What's he going to do on the outside like Coach Rex Ryan said yesterday? Yeah. I mean, you ain't doubling. What's he going to do on the outside against some of those elite corners?
You're saying Michael Thomas is better than Julian Edelman?
Hell yes. And so that's what I'm saying. So you look at all of that. And I'm like this. Tom Brady sitting back going like this. These people must have forgot who the hell I am. This is bad. And that's what I want to see that Tom Brady next year.
Stephen A., real quick before Bart jumps in. So, do you want Brady on the Patriots or do you want Brady somewhere else? Like we're hearing he would maybe go to the Chargers.
I want Tom Brady anywhere where there's talent. If the Patriots can get something in the offseason, all right, I want him to stay. Yeah. I want him with receivers. And they don't have to be Antonio Brown type receivers. Right. I want him with receivers, and let's see what the hell he does.
Bart, what do you think?
For me, it's not even close. I'm taking Tom Brady. Tom Brady does less with more with less than any other quarterback in the history of this game. Drew Brees has always been surrounded in the comforts of that dome with that advantage, with all these great players. He's got Kamara. There's not one player on the Patriots offense that you would say, hey, I'll take you. Right? You won't get a swap. If they were doing a draft, you would not pick any players from the offensive side of the ball from the Patriots. And if you look at what really Brady suffered with, you talk about his accuracy, you talk about his decision making, his ability to be accurate down the field. Well, it's hard to do when you have your top 3 offensive linemen out of the lineup on IR. So he had to really navigate through some tough waters. And the fact that he was able to perform at the level at which he even performed at is amazing.
It wasn't a great level. And by the way, last year he'd already started slipping, and he had weapons.
He still threw for over 4,000 yards.
This is the modern NFL, man. But last year, he was already way down from previous years, and that was with weapons.
If you give
and he's a year older this year.
If you give him weapons, other than Gronkowski, who was hurt, who did he really have? Sonny Michel was a rookie. He didn't really figure it out till late. Isaiah Wynn, who they brought in and drafted, was hurt all last year. So really, he did it all with Jedi mind tricks. And to me, he still has the bigger arm. I think Drew Brees benefited this year from being injured.
Actually, when you look at the numbers, Brady... And
numbers lie. You just said numbers lie.
Yeah, but this is, when you really look at the evidence, Brady's even average yards per attempt, all that stuff, for 2 years in a row, even compared to his dinking and dunking, is way down, and then way down again. It's down and it's perfectly mirroring his age curve.
No, but who's his deep threat? Who's the guy that can create separation one-on-one against his elite talent? All I know, Michael Thomas is going to be open regardless. Jared Cook's going to be open regardless. I know Alvin Kamara is a problem. Ramczyk is a Pro Bowler, all-pro. He had, Drew Brees has all the...
That may be true about...
And Drew Brees,
weapons. I'm not going to get the weapons.
Brees third in QBR this year. Tom Brady 17th in QBR.
Right. Okay. So one guy's middle of the pack, low middle, or middle of the pack. The other guy's elite. Have you guys seen this thing on social media that's been going around? Drew Brees against an Olympic archer. They put him out a certain distance. The Olympic archer tried to hit a bullseye.
Yep.
Did it like 6 times. Drew Brees with a football 10 times. Dead center like 4 times.
That doesn't mean anything.
I mean, like,
as much as I love Drew Brees, that don't mean much today after what we just saw Sunday.
Right. But Drew Brees is still a very accurate passer.
Of course he is.
Tom Brady has not been.
Excuse me. You guys really want to see Brady again?
Can I answer?
You really want another year of it?
Listen, Molly, wrong question. I got a better one for Max.
What?
Max Kellerman, can you answer this question for me in all honesty, right, with Bart Scott and Molly right here, the lovely Molly sitting right next to you? What Tom Brady had done this year if he had Michael Thomas available?
Better than he did.
That's all you got?
Which means,
that's all you got?
I don't think the Saints,
that's all you got.
The Saints would have done better with Brady than Brees.
I didn't say that. That's not what I'm saying. I said, what would Tom Brady have done if he had Michael Thomas as a weapon?
No, what you're really asking, if you're not saying Brady on the Saints, is what would Bill Belichick have done with Michael Thomas? That's a separate question.
Tom Brady wouldn't have lost on Sunday if you put him on that team.
By the way, guys, does it not occur to anyone that the AFC East ticks up this much? And so the Patriots don't have a bye in the first round, and Belichick has 2 weeks to prepare for a home game that he has to win, that Brady has to get you within field goal distance so a guy can kick a field goal so they get the AFC Championship. Well, as soon as that happens, they're out in the first round.
Let me reverse it with this question for you, Bart. You played defense in the National Football League. If you were going against the Patriots with the weapons that Tom Brady had available to him this summer, this past Sunday, how would you have felt about that matchup?
Barbecue chicken, as Shaq would say. I mean, it would have been easy peasy because Julian Edelman is a guy that can't really separate. You bracket him, and then you have nobody else to worry about. I mean, you're going to continue to get pressure on Tom Brady because really the offensive line couldn't hold up long enough to allow him to take those shots down the field. Nobody has separation. When you think about Drew Brees and what he had available to him, he had guys that were elite at every level. And also you can't discount the elements. You can't discount that one's going in a dome.
But here's the reason I'm asking this question is, do you see slippage in Tom Brady,
I
or
don't.
do you see a quarterback that had no weapons and was held accountable for the absence of talent he had available to him?
Now, you could say, he may not have as much arm strength as he once had, be able to cut the ball through the wind, but you can't say that he's still not accurate. You can't say that he doesn't still have a big arm. You look at, I know it was a Hail Mary, but you can see that
Guys,
he's still.
Don't you think there was a reason that he had to do an end around Bill Belichick to get the Kraft, to get Garoppolo shipped out of town? Don't you think there's a reason
still
that
won a
Belichick,
championship
right,
with that,
but that's Bill Belichick. What Belichick did at that moment was say, okay, we're going to have to win. We can't win it behind Tom Brady. We have to win it with defense and running game.
Something.
The lowest scoring Super Bowl ever. That's Belichick.
I just figured something out about Molly.
He's a free agent.
I just figured something out about Molly.
What?
Miss Jimmy G. What would Jimmy G have done in New England with the talent Tom Brady had available to him?
I'm not sure.
Really?
Little better than Tom
Brady.
Brady.
Games he played. I'm not sure what he would have done.
You're not sure what Jimmy G would have done when to kill Harry? And Julian Edelman on the outside?
I'm not sure.
With Burt Cabby? What?
I'm not.
Actually,
I just feel like
come on.
I think for Tom Brady, we have to go to break. He's played 20 years. He won the Super Bowl last year.
They're
Why
around the
not
same age.
end on a high note?
Because
why
last year.
continue? That's what I'm saying. Why continue to keep playing?
Because he has a TB12 brand to sell, and he has to do that by playing till he's 45.
He doesn't need money. We know
So he don't want to win that.
Wants him
So he don't want to win that.
Of course he does.
If he goes
He
off
just
to
can't.
But for
He
what?
does.